Right, ladies and gents, what a turnout this is. Thank you so much for turning up and coming to support us on our 25-minute slot. So, my name's Dave Roberts. I work for Castrol and the Race Group. The Race Group, who are an official partner of Castrol's, who we will look at shortly in a bit more detail. So, as I said, my name's Dave Roberts. I'm an ex-Volkswagen technician of 14 years. Prior to leaving in 2016, I went into automotive technical training Porsche apprentices and seeing them through their progression of their apprenticeship and hopefully seeing them pass. That was the aim. October last year, I finished the technical training aspect and I came into another world of difference, which is a whole new learning curve, which is working for Castrol and the race. Part of my role as of today is visiting independent workshops, speaking to them, finding out what their gripes are, and also helping in a way that will assist them and help them grow for future growth as well.
Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me? Yes, perfect. So my name is Fernando. I am the technical specialist in one of the team of technical specialists in Europe for Castrol. I've been working in the lubricants industry for the last lustrum, involving in technology developments for engines. And we'll be talking about specifications very soon, right after Dave meets the part.
Cheers, Fernando. Thank you. So just a little bit about the partnership between Castrol and the Race Group. So as we said, the Race is the official partner of Castrol. Work together on a daily basis. They both collaborate to ensure best practice is made and also to ensure our customers are catered for in an effective and an efficient manner. There was something else I was going to say as well, which has slipped my mind. But anyway, we'll move on. If I come back to it, I'll mention it. So part of the agenda for today then, we're going to be looking at market trends and also have a look at the UK car park as well. Market trends in relation to data that we've collated over a period of time, which we feel is up to date. We're also going to be taking a look at the UK car park as a whole, how many vehicles are on the road today, how many registrations have been made over the past few years as well. Fernando will then take you through specification approvals and also the whole evolution of where motor vehicle is going and how Castrol can help with that as well. In relation to the question and answers, we do ask you if you would mind coming back to the Castrol stand, which is right by the entrance and the exit, and one of our team, there's quite a few of them, they will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Right, so let's have a look at some trends then we've got going on. New registrations in the UK. We have 1,647,181 new registrations. 2013, if we have a look at the graph on the left, we can see that progressing on each year from 2013, you can see there is quite a considerable amount of new registrations coming on the market. 2016, we saw the peak of it. 2016, I knew that was the peak of it because my boss wanted me in overtime. New PDIs coming through, registrations. Then from 2016, we've seen a decline. And obviously 2020, we saw a huge drop in new vehicles being registered on the road. I don't think I need to tell you why. Pandemic. And we can see that it's sort of plateaued out slightly. And from it plateauing out, is that through people's perception of their security for the future? Is that through they don't know what the future holds? We'll let you decide for that. Our passenger car park in the UK. We can see that there is more vehicles on the road today. Now, you might find that is a little bit hard to believe if there's not many registrations coming through. But people are starting to look after their car a bit more. People want to, because of the pandemic and they don't know what the future holds for them, they want to, instead of buying a new car, they want to keep a hold of their vehicle, keep it maintained and serviced. What does this mean? This means that the independent market is in a good position. Because if we look at the average age of the vehicle on the road in the UK, we've put it at 8.7 years. So compared to last year, that's grown 0.4 years. And we can only anticipate by 2023, it will increase a further 0.2 years. And even the graph we've got down the bottom here, might be a little bit difficult for you guys to see, but I'll read it out for you. The vehicles on the road today, we can see that 15 years old vehicles and more is starting to increase a lot more. Newer vehicles are starting to decrease. So we can see that the older the car park's getting, the more work generated could lead to the independent sector. Don't read too much into this slide. All we've got here, we've got different columns ranging from franchise dealer, IMT, which is your independent workshops, auto centres, fast fit as well, and independent tyre dealer. As we can see, the market in volume, independent workshops are absolutely killing it by 54%. Franchise workshops, we can see market in volume 19%. That's actually decreased from last year by 2%. So that data we've got there is showing you that the independent workshop is in a very strong position, service, repairs, maintenance. Is it because that there's not is it because there's not enough franchise dealerships around? Customers don't want to travel to a franchise dealership. Are they happy with the independent workshop that they've got just up the road? Quite possibly. And that's why we can see now that our market in volume, 54% for the independent workshop. I'm going to pass over now to Fernando, who is going to take you through some specification approvals and the evolution of the motor vehicle, or the engine.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. So, as I said, I'm Fernando, and we're talking about specifications and their evolution now. So, first of all, the current scenario we have nowadays with the ASEA, which is ASEA is the European Association of Car Manufacturers, which acts kind of like a regulatory organism in the industry. We're having all these red boxes of oil sequences which define different criteria that should meet the oil to get the specification for the different ASEAs. And on the vertical axis, we have the high temperature, high shear, which is the behavior of the lubricant at extreme temperatures and shear forces, which is closely related to the fuel economy content. Okay. On the horizontal axis, we're having the SAPS content, which stands for sulfated ash, phosphorus, and sulfur. This is related to the additive load in a formula. Okay, it's very closely related to the DPF protection. Okay, it's absolutely popular these days. Not back in the days, but it is very, very extremely important now. And the picture is more or less simple. Back in the days, even like 10, 20 years ago, it was much simpler. You know, and there wasn't that much DPF, so SAPS content wasn't that important. But now it has broadened up a bit, but still we can cover the car park of only ASEA with a very few products. The problem is this one. There's specifications now from every manufacturer everywhere in all the different HTHS, so fuel economy, let's say, range, in the SAPS range, so they're spread everywhere, even from the same manufacturer. For example, in Ford, which is in blue here, there's specs everywhere. Jaguar and Rover in yellow, also specs everywhere. So there's not a single way to get just in one oil to cover all of them. So not even, for example, in the popular 5W30 C3. You cannot claim some of the specs at the same time. It's very difficult, and not all the 5W30 C3 are the same, depending on the approvals and the specifications they have. So it's important to understand why is the oil portfolio complex, because the specifications that we have to meet are very, very spread out and very different among themselves. Okay. So what has driven us since like 20 years ago until now in this complex scenario, and why cannot we meet all the specifications with very little oils? Because the engine has developed a lot. And why has the engine developed a lot? Because the emission legislation and the pollution laws have been very, very tight these last years, and they forced the engine to be more efficient, to burn less fuel, to emit less CO2, and this has led to different behavior that affected the lubricant, and it had to adapt to the new conditions. So for example, the downsizing, we're now having smaller engines with a very limited cubic capacity, but they still deliver the same power than they did 10 years before when they were much bigger. So how do you get this? The same power delivery with less cubic capacity, you have to increase the operation rate and temperatures and pressures. So it has to be much more severe to be able to deliver that. That causes that the lubricant, which is of course very close to the piston, the chemistry of the rings and so on, it really has to support all the temperature ranges that are now extremely high, and the oil has to lubricate it without degrading quickly, because the oil drains are longer than back in the days and sometimes. So that's one of the drivers. Also the hybrids and the start-stop, that they stop and start the engine constantly along with the oil pump. So the oil is stopped, its pumping is stopped and started continuously. So the lubrication stops, and when the engine wants to start again, there's no lubricant where it's supposed to be. So the lubricant has to be really prepared for this, to protect the engine, even if those continuous stop-start occur. There's a turbo compressor, which are spinning up to 300,000 RPMs, which is extremely high revolution range. Not only they have to lubricate it, but they have to act as a seal to the exhaust and the fresh air inlet, and the paper is absolutely important from the lubricant here. And then we have some phenomena which is more strictly related to the lubricant itself rather than the engine development sometimes, but this is the LSPI, which stands for low speed pre-ignition, which is a phenomena where the oil, when it gets burned in the chamber of combustion, there is a hot spot if the additive is a bit unbalanced in some formulations. For certain engines, petrol engines, there's these hot spots of the ashes formed by the combustion of the lubricant that can auto-ignite before the spark plug, so before the piston gets to the upper dead point, and that can cause two different flame fronts that can crash and collide between each other and create opposite forces that can lead to catastrophic failure in the engine. So the lubricant really, the evolution, we have had to investigate and research a lot to make possible, the LSPI prevention. And we get asked a lot, what is the process, about the specification, the approval, and so on. I'm going to drop light here now. So this is the regular process which is followed by manufacturers. So they develop a new engine at the beginning. The oil specification is developed. The specification is just a letter where they set what is the criteria, what are the values, the physical chemical values, and the bench test values, and different maybe OEM tailor-made tests. What is the quantity that you should be meeting? What is the value you should be getting in those tests? That's what the specification defines, and it gets published when it's properly developed, and it's for sure that it will protect the engine, and the technology is implemented. So the conventional approach to get an approval for that specification, and we'll go through it back in a minute, is that when it gets published, you get the letter of all the criteria, all the numbers, all the lab you should be meeting. You should be running a test program with the OEM or with an authorized lab by the OEM, which ensures that your product is legit and you're getting the proper values you should inside of the specification. And if the test program is run and performs sufficiently good, you get the approval, so you get the official statement. What we try to do at Castrol with the brands we collaborate with is that we access to the prototype engines when they're starting to being developed with a very, very high number of oils, test oils, to start trying, seeing what is the proper additive balance and viscosity balance for the engine. We developed the tests with the OEM, so we co-engineer those tests. We co-develop the product development, and we help the OEM define the specification. So this letter containing all the criteria is developed with us, it's co-developed again. So we get an early manufacturer approval, and we get a very differentiated product, because it's like a ring in a finger, like we say in Spain. It's the perfect product because it was engineered along with the engine. And after this speaker time we had yesterday here in the same stage, we were asked a lot to understand the differences between the specification and approval. So the specification is, as I said, letter containing the criteria, okay, and it's detailed by the OEM. So An approval is a letter which is signed by the OEM and it says your oil, named Castrol, whatever, meets the requirements and is approved for any specifications, whatever. So that is the letter that validates a warranty. So if a customer wants a warranty, they'll need an approved oil. Meeting the requirements or meeting specifications or being suitable for use has not been approved by the OEM. So it's important to be aware of the differences and really evaluate if a product is approved or is just meeting specifications. It's very, very important, this difference. And please, Dave, you can...
Cheers, thank you, Fernando. So the difference is, how can Castrol help you as an independent workshop? As Fernando was just saying about the importance of using approved oils, especially when you're dealing with vehicles that are still in manufacturer's warranty. Castrol and the race group can help. As you can imagine, our oils from Castrol are approved oils. Depending on what type of independent garage you are, we have the right tools to supply you to ensure you're effectively and efficiently fitting the right oil to the right car. Starting with stocking our correct core oil. Now, our core oil will cover 99% of vehicles on the road in the UK, which we'll go through shortly. Adding to your workshop efficiency, ensuring that your technician is selecting the right oil for the right car, effectively and efficiently. We will introduce into your workshop a product stand. Now, it holds 9 20-litre oil containers, and they are more so for the less common oils that you might see. The pretty much common oils that you will see driving through your workshop, you will most probably have either in a bulk or a barrel. And the good thing about stocking the correct oil and the core oil, you have access to our Castrol Oil Lookup Finder, which is in the public domain anyway. A simple registration search will bring up quantity fill and also a list of other approved Castrol oils for that vehicle. So if you're interested in finding out how Castrol can help, what makes you different from other competitors in your area, please come and see us on the stand, and one of our team will quite gladly help you and go through it with you. This is just an overview of our core range of oils that we could help you stock in your workshop. Some of you know that are in the motor trade anyway, 530C3 seems to be quite a common oil on the market as of today. Between these two oils, Castrol Edge 530 Long Life and 530C3, we're covering off 39% of the vehicles on the road today. And as we can see from the next, as we make our way down, 530A5, Magnatech, and we can see it gets lower all the way through. So 99% of the vehicles on the road in the UK, our core range will help and ensure you're fitting the right oil to the right car. Thanks ever so much for your time. If there's any questions or anything, or you'd like to come and have a look on the Castrol stand, especially at our product stand, which we have got, please come and have a look and come and chat to one of our team. Thank you very much.
Thank you.